our Senate President Pro Tem, Senator Lauren Legarda, and to interpolate our distinguished colleague from Bohol and Davao, Senator Bato de la Rosa.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Before that, thank you, Mr. President. Your subcommittee G is ready to present the budget for the Department of Foreign Affairs and its attached agencies. I will no longer read all the attached agencies and the budgets. Let this be placed in the record, and I'm ready to be interpolated by Senator Ronald De La Rosa. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Good Sponsor, Madam Chairman. I have only one question, and this pertains to the issuance of passport. Madam Sponsor, for the record, during one of our committee hearings, it was confirmed by the Bureau of Immigration and the National Bureau of Investigation that they were able to intercept about more than a dozen of Filipino passport holders who are obviously not Filipinos. And it was confirmed further that these passports were really authentic. So what made us alarmed is the fact that this involves national security. Dahil, Madam Sponsor, baka mamaya itong mga Chinese speaking individuals who are not really Filipinos, baka nagkalat na yung passport doon sa kanila, and before we know it, we are already being surrounded by operatives of maybe from People's Liberation Army or whatever, whoever those people are. And talagang delikado yung sitwasyon natin kapag ito ay mapababayaan. Kasi tingnan mo, yung isang ordinaryong Pilipino ay hirap na hirap magkakaroon ng passport dahil nga sa in-schedule pa, maraming requirements. And itong isang Chinese na hindi Pilipino, natataka tayo, bakit napakadaling makakuha ng passport na gano'n na lang. So, just for the record, Madam Chair, gusto ko lang parating itong issue na ito. And I would like to inquire from you if this issue has reached the attention of DFA, may we know what are the actions that they have undertaken so far in response to this particular issue?
Thank
yes.
you. I appreciate Senator De La Rosa's intervention and question on this alleged issuance of Philippine passports to Chinese nationals. Yes, it is a national security issue. Yes, it should not be taken lightly, but also we should not allow that the budget of this department be held tonight as late as it is at 11:18. But I will answer your question first with the official statement of a DFA, and second, I will give you my personal feelings about it. First, the DFA is actively engaging law enforcement agencies in investigating the matter and in pursuing the filing of appropriate criminal charges against these foreign nationals who are able to obtain a Philippine passport. Second, the DFA notes that these foreign nationals pose themselves as Filipinos by assuming Filipino identities through the presentation of authentic and genuine PSA birth certificates with valid government-issued identification cards that are accepted for a passport application. Third, the DFA further notes that some of these foreign nationals pose themselves as persons with disability and presented authentic PWD IDs. In doing so, these individuals are escorted by their immediate family members and relatives during the passport application. Fourth, to address the cases of document and identity fraud, the DFA is working closely with the PSA for the integration of systems that will allow our frontliners to quickly validate the authenticity of PSA documents, and they're looking to sign into MOA with the PSA soonest to operationalize the foregoing. And fifth, the DFA highlights that it has engaged the Bureau of Immigration. I think part of your information came from the Bureau of Immigration as well, the National Bureau of Investigation, and these agencies must also look into themselves if part of the syndicates are into these agencies as well. The Philippine National Police, who had just left the hall tonight, and the Philippine Statistics Authority, who was here yesterday. All of these agencies must consult each other to strengthen the cooperation and discuss ways forward on how to prevent similar cases in the future. I am not happy with this, what I read. And I will state that, Mr. President. While these are diplomatic answers to your question, and they're valid, yes, they're looking into the way forward. But yes, I agree with you. And before we went into our formal session, we had this discussion. We will not let it pass. And I would welcome the resolution that Your Honor and Senator Tolentino will file to look at it through the Blue Ribbon Committee or other relevant government agencies, because it may not only be the Department of Foreign Affairs. Because to be able to secure authentic documents like a birth certificate and other requirements, it means that there are sources. I would no longer say the place where the Senate President mentioned that there could be possible sources in certain areas of the country. But my question to the agency, whose budget I am defending, is that I would like to know who is the head of the passport division? Who were the officers and staff during the time that these Chinese nationals applied for the passport, even assuming they applied as PWD with relatives, even assuming that they applied that they cannot speak good English, even assuming that they said that they could not speak in Filipino or English. Napakaliwanag na po para higit pa sa sikat ng araw kung si Bay Pilipino na hindi lang marunong mag-Ingles o Pilipino at kung hindi naman Pilipino. Kaya nararapat lamang na alamin natin yung lugar, saan man nag-issue ng passport, yung oras, sino yung officer in charge, at sino mismo yung tao na nasa window, nasa desk na nag-issue po niyan. Siguro naman po, sang-ayon, sigurado ako si Secretary Manalo dahil ito'y napag-usapan natin bago tayo nag-session ngayon. So, for me, the way forward would be isang masusing investigasyon sa Department of Foreign Affairs. 2 araw pa lang nakakaupo ang head ng Passport Division, ASEC Adel Cruz. ASEC, right? ASEC Adel Cruz. I'm not pointing to the previous person who was in charge of this post, but we must look into the dates when it was issued, and you have it on record, and today's only Thursday. Perhaps we will give them till Monday at 12 noon to give us the list of those alleged Chinese nationals and who was in charge, and to ask the DFA personnel, why did you do that? Ganun kasimple. Ang tanongin, sino ang head nun at sino ang nagbigay? At sabi nila, kasi po kompleto, may birth certificate, may PSA, may NBI clearance, etc. Aalamin din natin sa PSA, nakahapon ng pinasa natin ng budget, aalamin din natin sa BID at sa NBI. Tatawagan ko bukas ang head ng NBI tungkol dito. Maari na lahat ng mga ahensyang to ay may galamay sa mga kumuha ng mga authentic documents. It's not even fraudulent. These are authentic documents. That means there could be collusion of Filipinos. I'm not stating that with certainty because I only discovered this tonight from Your Honor. But I share your outrage that this happens kung ang ordinaryong Pilipino ay nahihirapan kumuha ng passport, pero ang Chinese nationals ay nakakuha hindi lang isa, hindi lang dalawa, kundi dose-dosena. Assuming totoo yung inyong report mula sa inyong hearing na galing nga sa DFA, kasi maaari na naman na mukha lang totoong passport pero hindi naman galing din sa DFA. Kaya I will withhold my rage and outrage, although it's very, very disappointing. I would be so incensed and disappointed if that came from the DFA. Having said that, I thank Your Honor for bringing it to our attention because it is not a matter of just a passport. It is a national security issue. And right here in Metro Manila. So thank you, Your Honor.
Madam Sponsor, may we know if, as we speak right now, their investigation was able to pinpoint responsibilities, people responsible in the issuance of these passports. If meron na silang na-identify so far.
Of each and within the DFA.
Yan.
Investigate.
October.
The truth, whether they say there's an investigation, but I'm not certain at what level the investigation is. They said that they are coordinating with the CIDG. Honestly, I'm sorry, sir, I'm not content with the answer. However, I will not hostage the budget of the DFA, an agency and a department I love dearly, and it is not the fault of this gentlemen and women here, but we will find out, and I request that the information on the duty officers at the time, so that you can do your own internal investigation.
Yes, Madam Chair, for the record, that information came about during the committee budget hearing at the committee level of the DOJ budget. That was October 9. So more or less 1 month ago, Madam Chair. So I hope patuloy yung investigation.
If I may, to my distinguished colleagues, I also got a report, and I think Secretary should know this, that there was a town in Mindanao, particularly in Caraga, and I wouldn't want to divulge the town tonight, in fairness, so that we don't put them in a bad light until we find out the details. But accordingly, the NBI is already doing an ongoing investigation. That's why I don't want to name the town. But there's a town in Caraga which are giving out birth certificates, and they caught several Chinese nationals that speak no English, nor Tagalog, nor Bisaya. Okay na sana kung Bisaya kasi taga Caraga. Don't speak Bisaya, that have been able to acquire birth certificates from this town. So, nahuli ng NBI, and they're looking at the syndicates involved. No? And that's the Register of Deeds, I believe, of the town, issuing birth certificates, that they are from that town, and therefore
is what I wanted to share with the DFA family. I have so much respect to DFA family, to the Department of Foreign Affairs, especially to Secretary Manalo. But you know, to hear this kind of incident happening to other departments, perhaps hindi na nakakagulat minsan. Unfortunately, we have heard this in the immigration Philippine immigration, Mr. President, if you recall, when we conducted, this representation conducted the Senate Committee on Labor hearing 4 or 5 years ago, wherein we had that historic 1,200 human trafficking na nangyari doon po sa Clark. Tapos kinoment pa namin yung Commissioner Argosino, if you recall, Mr. President. And then we found out there was a video with this guy waiting for 50 million bribe, Mr. President. And now, nung nakuha siya, binawasan pa ng 1,000, 49,999,000 na lang, Mr. President. So, yung mga ganon, minsan hindi na tayo nabibigla, Mr. President. Pero if it happens to the Department of Foreign Affairs, medyo mahirap po isipin, Mr. President. Eh gaya po nung sinasabi niyo, Mr. President, face value pa lang Hindi na makatagalog, hindi makabisaya, bihasa sa Chinese. Hindi ka pa ba mag-iisip na hakchaw ito, Mr. President? So, again, Mr. President, gusto ko lang sabihin, Mr. President, how many Filipinos, how many of our kababayans are still waiting for their passports? How many of them are asking for help every single day Pagkatapos itong mga banyaga, ito na mga hindi natin alam kung ano yung mga klaseng pag-iisip mayroon sila, magkakaroon ng Philippine passport. So I just wanted to put on record that it's disgusting, Mr. President, and it's unacceptable. Kaya I hope and pray na may gawin ng ating departamento dahil nakakagulat po na ito yung nangyari sa Department of Foreign Affairs. Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you.
Thank you. And if before we recognize the minority floor leader, however, to our dear colleagues, let's put it in proper retrospect. No, there may be a few bad eggs in the Department of Foreign Affairs, but by and large, these people are a very professional group of diplomats, of government employees, government officials makawani ng gobyerno. I must commend them just for the record because I think we're starting on the wrong foot. Instead of congratulating them, we're already berating them, including me, no? Because I brought up this issue on the passport. I would just like to put on record, Secretary, and the men and women of the DFA for doing a great job in rescuing the Filipinos exiting Gaza. The other day, your undersecretary is there, the one behind you. Secretary Vega, thank you. Thank you for a job well done, gentlemen and ladies. You guys are doing a great job in securing and making sure that our Filipino patriots or compatriots in Gaza and Israel are being safe, are sure of being safe and placed into safe havens. And we thank you for that. And I just came from three European countries for a parliamentary visit in the United Kingdom, to Spain and to Hungary, and your embassy staff and officials were excellent. I have to say, they were top class. They were great ambassadors. Each and every one of the employees were great ambassadors of the Philippine government. So I thank you for that, for the service that you do. There are some bad eggs like the PNP. Hindi naman pwede natin latin na masama ang PNP lahat, or the other agencies. But I agree with my majority floor leader. We were a bit disgusted about this issue of fake passports. But overall, we must agree that overall, the DFA is one of the most professional.
View that DFA is considered the cream of the crop, Mr. President, of all government agencies. And I still believe that, Mr. President.
Yes.
And that's why we feel that this is something that we need to really look into. Thank you, Mr. President.
Mr. President, the DFA bagged the ARTA report card silver award. It ranked first among all government agencies. Yes. Yeah, that's why
No, they're
it pains
good.
us.
They're very good people.
It pains us when there are reports that there are passports granted to Chinese nationals. That's why they need to do this internal investigation and come up with a report not later than Monday. And I appreciate the fact that the PSA and the other agencies will be called back here as well.
Well, no one is perfect, right? There's always some bad eggs in an organization. But with the secretary there and the undersecretaries that are there that are very professional, I know they can stamp out this, whoever, if it's a syndicate, they'll stamp it out.
And we are not certain that the passports were granted by the DFA because we do not know the results of the investigation. It is possible they don't
Yes.
print the old passports. They have a printer, Apo. They also have to be summoned in the Blue Ribbon hearing because it's possible they don't hold all the passports.
Yes.
The printer does. What
Yes.
if the Chinese nationals get it from the printer? I'm not accusing Apo,
Yes.
but there are other sources because I cannot for the life of me imagine any DFA officer or staff or anyone doing this or being part of a criminal syndicate.
Yes, that's
I
why I
cannot
wanted to
believe it.
put on record the good service, the great service that the DFA is doing. Gentlemen, ladies, we're very proud of you. So the budget, I believe we increased your budget, you deserve it. So, and I think that's the point of Senator Pimentel. He's going to ask what the increase is all about. But if you ask me, the DFA deserves the increase of their budget. So, maraming salamat, my dear sponsor. I just wanted to put that on record. Thank you for your service, ladies and gentlemen of the Department of Foreign Affairs. Thank you.
Yeah, Mr. President,
Yeah.
Madam Sponsor, I am the one who interpellated you and I am the source of that information.
Yes.
Kaya worried ako baka mamaya pag ako'y mag-abroad, wala nang taga-DAP magsalubong sa akin doon sa airport. But anyway, hindi rin naman
Ay, hindi sila ganyan. Senator Bato, they're not like that. I guarantee you they're not like that.
I just want to
They're very professional. I know you're just joking.
I just want to lighten up the mood dahil masyado na sila malungkot dahil it's already about 12
Almost
o'clock. And ganun pa.
No, the information, Senator De La Rosa, is Mr. President is very helpful because how would we know that this problem existed if you not inform
Yes,
us?
absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
No, that is you're helping the nation. We by bringing about problems, it does not mean that you are destroying an agency. You're trying to solve the many challenges in governance.
Constructive
Yes.
criticism.
Anyway,
I'll make sure that you are fetched in the airport.
sigurado naman tayo na ang tatamaan nitong investigasyon ay yun lang talagang gumawa ng kalukuhan. Hindi naman yung buong agency ang
mag-alala.
masisira dito. That is why, siguro, magpasalamat rin siguro ng DAP sa atin at pinaloob natin itong problema na ito para ma-weed out nila yung mga